Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, you guessed it, we're back working on the high mileage Forester. What we have going on now is the rear hatch button is broken. It's been acting up for a while. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it wouldn't, other times it would unlock itself while I was driving. I'm fairly certain it's just the button is worn out. So we're gonna go ahead and tackle that today, replace it with a brand new one and see if that solves the problem. So obviously the first thing you need to do in order to replace the switch on this is you have to get the hatch open. But if the switch isn't working, what you have to do is you gotta come inside the vehicle. And I'm gonna apologize for the poor lighting back here, but you can see that I've already removed this plastic piece that goes in the hatch. You're gonna pull that out. And you can see right inside here, this little triangular piece here. But you're gonna get your screwdriver on that little triangular piece that sticks out, and you're just gonna slide it over. And once it's slid all the way over, you can push your hatch open. So the next thing we need to do is we need to take down this interior panel on the inside of the hatch. Before we can start pulling that down, you have 3 push pins here along the outside, and you also have a screw sitting up underneath here. It's kind of hard to get to. You're gonna mark up the surface. I haven't found any like trim tool that'll get up in there, so I just have this real fine point flathead, and that's gonna expose that Phillips head screw. Now the only thing left holding it up are some fasteners that pop into their clips on the inside. So you just need to work this down with a little bit of force. You're gonna go ahead and use a trim removal tool like this. If you don't have some, they're an invaluable tool if you don't wanna mark up your surfaces. But we're gonna use this in combination with pulling down to free this up. So once that's down and hanging, there's actually a Phillips head nylon fastener that's right up underneath here. So next you need to work on getting these side pieces out. And then lastly, on both sides, like I said, are going to be these Phillips headed nylon fasteners. Loosen them out, and they pull right out, and you do that on both sides. Okay, so next, this piece right here is actually plastic trim, and it's held on the inside by a couple of bolts. So that's going to include your badge here and this whole trim piece all the way across, because the wiring harness we need for the new button switch sits underneath here. So from the inside of the hatch, we need to go ahead and take those bolts out. Okay, so this is actually my first time pulling this trim piece off. I'm not sure exactly how many bolts we have. I know as of right now, I can see 2. There's one right up through here in this hole and one mirrored on the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and take those out. And if you're wondering, these are 8mm nuts. So it also looks like it is held on by these longer, also 8mm nuts here on either side. There's one on this side and one on the other. Okay, so that's what I thought. I thought when I was reading up on this, it said there was 5 nuts holding this on here, and there is one right up under here. The bracket for your rear wiper motor is in the way though. I'm hoping I can just undo the 3 bolts that hold this in and get enough clearance without actually having to undo the wiper itself. So let's go ahead and see if that works. And these are 10mm. And that should give us enough room to get that last nut out of there. And just to show you where that is, it's gonna be right up in there. Okay, so I already started this a little bit, but you can start from this end. You can push in on the stud that one longer nut was holding this on with, pop it out. And once it's popped out, you can go ahead and use your trim tool, work your way along, being careful of your paint to pop this free. Okay guys, so I struggled with that for a bit. I got it mostly freed up. I couldn't figure out what was holding it on. But there's actually 2 more nuts that we missed. You got one right here and a second one right back in here. We can do this still without removing the rear wiper. So let me get those down and then hopefully we can get this out of there. So now back to the inside of the hatch. We have 2 connectors that you need to undo. This connector here, and there's a rubber grommet. You're going to push that rubber grommet through along with the connector so this whole panel can come off. Alright, so now we're back over on the bench. I have the panel here laid out just on some padding so we don't scratch the emblem or the paint or anything. But you can see here that in order to place this switch, you actually have to replace both plate light sockets, this entire harness. So first, I actually already removed, when I was trying to figure out these last 2 bolts here, I had removed the screws for the lens on this plate light bulb, but we need to go ahead and remove the lens over on this side. And it's pretty simple. Just grab yourself a screwdriver, 2 Phillips head screws. They are a little stiff for some reason. I don't know if that's because of the rubber seal and it catches on that or what, but and then your lens will come right off of there. The gasket stays there. Take that off as well. Next we can start pulling some of this wiring harness over towards the other side. Sockets are a little tricky, but you just need to get enough slack so you can turn them sideways and pull them out of there. And then last we have the button. It's a little hard to show you in the panel, so to show you what's going on with the new part, you can see there's these spring-loaded clips on either side. So in order to get this out, you simply need to hang on. So when you push in on those and it comes out, it's now through your panel here. What the hell, Subaru? You can see there's this separated piece here, and I think that comes out so that this can slide right through there. Okay, so after looking at this some more, I think what's supposed to happen is this black trim piece actually lifts out. Man, I don't know. I'm almost tempted what if I just cut these wires and spliced them back in? That might be the way I'm gonna go because all these screws on here are rusted. Alright guys, so I just went and I pushed the wiring through with the rubber grommet. I plugged everything in just because before we went and took care of all this, I wanted to make sure everything was working. And the latch works. So there you go. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just throw this on a time lapse. Reinstalling this is just the exact opposite of how we took it apart. Not too difficult. You just got to remember your, what did it end up being, 7 nuts that holds that trim on the back. Tighten back up your rear wiper, get all your trim pieces put back in, and it should be all buttoned up. Well guys, there you have it. The switch has been replaced. The hatch is working great again. I can actually use my back cargo area. Everything's working great. If you're watching this video because your switch stopped working and you need to replace it, I'm going to leave the part number as well as vehicle compatibility in the description down below. As always guys, I really appreciate you watching. Feel free to leave a comment. Make sure to hit that like button. And as always, subscribe to my channel. Thanks.